G'day YouTube. Warbles on a lot here. Those of you who've been paying attention to my channel for a while may perhaps recognise these. Two of my grandfather's wheelwriting tools. But that would be before I had subjected the items to a little bit of tender loving care. And what that says is that this unit was patented on the 5th of June 1900, which is actually my son's birthday, though he was born in 1989. So these things were probably 85 years old when my son was born. There you go. How's that for a hillbilly approximation of a green screen? I've used white vinegar, methylated spirits, brushes, all kinds of, more or less gentle means of getting this thing. There we go, that's the operational way of looking at it. And yeah, here's the thing. Just there are two scales. And you got 1/4 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch. You got 1/2 an inch and 1/2 an inch. You got 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch, which is what it's set on at the moment. You got 1 inch and 1 inch, 1.5 inch and 1.5 inch, 1.25 inch and 1.25 inch. Isn't that fascinating? Patented in 1900. This is a Victorian era item. Yeah, patented and manufactured and sold and in use, and my grandfather used to use it to make his living. But, oh ye of the greening of the screening, you can't use one of these until you first apply one of these. And I think I have actuarially come up with a functional use in 2023, nearly 1.25 centuries since these things were new, to actually use them, to see if it's possible to put round dowel ends on the smaller ends and then use them in joinery. Because guess who has recently cut down a whole lot of tea tree, Melaleuca alternifolia, the sort that if you really wanted to, you could make lemon scented tea tree oil from, because when you crush the leaves it smells like lemons. So yeah, I've got quite a lot of very hard, very gnarly, very knurled wood, and I think maybe, perhaps, possibly piss-a-bubbly even, I might be able to maybe put a 1/4 inch dowel and a 1/4 inch dowel and a 1/4 inch dowel, if not almost a 1/2 inch dowel, and then use a hacksaw to split the end and use that to go through a hole drilled in something big enough to cope with a 1/2 inch hole, and poke a wedge into the hacksaw cut in order to achieve a nail-less piece of joinery. Yeah, actually make a joint out of wood which fits. might be an ambitious project, but at least I have inherited the tools, which means that it's not actually beyond the possibilities of theoretisation. So guess who's already applied an electric drill and a wire wheel and about 2.5 hours to taking the bark off the uprights and the stays before having a crack not quite certain how I'm going to do the doweling at the end, but anyway, we will see what we will see. And yeah, we completely utilised an El Cheapo Chinese wire wheel. Although not on the second attempt, this is a stringy bark fork which has been doing really good duty for something like 30 years. But as you can see, it's more or less in the shade. This one over here, it failed. There you go, you can see the one what failed. And this is what replaced it. That was the very first Melaleuca alternifolia wire wheeled. See, isn't that cute? You've got a bit of a bend in the strut so you don't catch it with your leg as you're walking past here. Yeah. All right, so that's actually working. Are you impressed? I hope you're impressed. I'm very pleased with myself. Hello. Yes, darling. You can be fed. Of course you can. Yes, you're a good girl. Of course you are. Yes, you're a beautiful girl. Oh, don't get so bloody scared. Go on. There you are. Is that better? Hey? Less intrusive, perhaps? What do you think? Hey? Yes, all right. I'll go back to the movie, eh? And I'll leave you to try and steal something from the swamp wallaby. Because that's kind of what you're into, isn't it, eh? Right, so where was I? I am more or less hoping the next step will work because the first step did not fail. So hopefully stage 2 of the learning curve might also actually work. Because what I'm hoping to do using these 3 star pickets, which I have used my cut-off disc to amputate and repoint. The plan is to use the ancestral wheelwriting tools to put something of a handrail that goes there roughly where the tent and the fly's guy rope otherwise runs parallel to the dry stone steps which lead up to my daughter's tent. So yeah, that's the plan. I want to have something vertical coming up here from one peg. I want to have something vertical going down there to another peg. I want to have a long slopey piece running along there. And then I want to have a sort of a V piece coming from the top of the handrail out over there to another peg, so the whole thing is triangulated, as they say in the game. All done with no nails, just dowels and holes and wedges. And I hope to use my ancestral tools in order to accomplish such a feat. Time will tell, and we will see what we will see, but at least that's the goal at the moment. Hopefully, I'm not going to fuck it up. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. And can you guess how those tools are going to do the job for me? Ciao.